In my previous video released earlier this week, I showed you guys how to buy a LEAPS option. And I told you inside that video that one of the best things about buying LEAPS is that you can write calls against that contract to form something called the poor man's covered call or a calendar spread. Now, if you've not seen that video, I highly recommend go back and see that, or this may seem a little bit confusing. I will link it, post it. It will be down in the comments section, but it'll give you a really good foundation for what I'm going to be talking about in this video, which is how to place a poor man's covered call against that LEAPS options that I talked about in that video. So we know it's great to write calls when that particular asset is having a green day. And for me right now, American Express is up 1.5%, 1.66% on the day. This is going to be a great opportunity to use my LEAPS option to write calls against it. So first, I'm going to click into that American Express long call LEAPS that I have. We could see it's up 1.59%. This option already is up 10% for me, for $415 to the green, which is awesome. Now, some things that we are going to need to notice when we are writing a poor man's covered call. The break-even price is super important. And all this is the strike price that we chose, in this case, $210, plus how much you paid for that particular option. I paid $45 or $4,500. So when we take the 210 strike and we add it to the $45 I paid, that gives me a break even of $255. Now, why is this break even so important? It is so important because that is the lowest strike price that we can write the call at if we do not want to have to put up more collateral. This essentially is the break even on the spread. If something were to happen and that LEAPS option was to be assigned, it would take the collateral from that and use it to cover the short call as well. So you need to make sure that your strike price on the call that you are going to write, the covered call, has a strike price greater than your break even to really help protect you. It is very important to note that the call that we are going to write is really just the sprinkles on top. It really means nothing. I'm going to collect here maybe $100 in premium, but we can see that my total return right now is $463. If that option gets assigned and this spread gets assigned, we are going to lose all of that profit that we earned in the LEAPS option. So if things get crazy, it is much better to get rid of that covered call, close that covered call at a loss to protect the LEAPS option. The profit from the LEAPS is always going to be greater than any premium. Just remember that covered call is just the sprinkle on top. The LEAPS is the number one thing we are trying to protect and not have it be assigned. So to do this, I'm using Robinhood. If we were going to view all options, just like a regular covered call, I am going to sell a weekly option against this. So the next one, right now it is Monday, that will be Friday. We make sure we go to sell call. And why do they call this the poor man's covered call? Remember, I opened this option for $4,500, okay? $4,500. That allows me to write calls. If I had to get to 100 shares to write calls, it would cost me $24,000. So we are able to write options on this LEAPS contract for a fraction of the price it would cost me to get to 100 shares. Now with this, because we really want to protect the LEAPS option, unlike my assets that I own 100 shares, I am going to make the delta on this trade really, really small, most likely below 0.2. Now, if you want to see how that's going to work, if we click where 255 here is the minimum strike that I can write, I'm going to click, look down here, delta 0.21. All right. So for me, I'm going to be honest with you, that's close, but for me right now, not close enough. This $40 difference is not worth it to me to have this potentially be assigned. So at 0.21, I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to go up to the next one, 0.17. That is a beautiful, beautiful delta for me. I'm going to click this. I'm going to say covered call. It should tell you this right now. We are going to get a credit of roughly $135. I am going to continue. It says a low, medium fill. I like to just put my limit in to make that say high. I'm not really that concerned with $130 versus $133, and this is a limit, so it is going to give me the best price possible. I'm going to review order. I'm going to submit. It is going to come up here, covered call, beautiful, estimated credit, $129.97. When we go back into the investing tab, we now see that covered call, which I just gained premium on. And then here is my LEAPS option. And that right there, guys, is the poor man's covered call. It is a fantastic way to just add a little bit more premium on top of the premium that you're already collecting. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, go back and watch that other video. I will link it right here if you need just a little bit of background on the LEAPS. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.